Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Wisa of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Today, I want to do a mini SWOT analysis of the lockdowns in Kenya. Yes, you can see out there, no entry to Nairobi, no entry to Mombasa, no entry to Nakuru, and so on. And we have our forces guarding that. Streets must be empty and traveling is restricted. Those are the lockdowns. Yes, there are some quite good things that the lockdowns have brought. There is what we call lean business. The COVID-19 and lockdowns have forced businesses to evaluate their priorities. As a result, businesses have dropped non-critical projects. Now, dropping non-critical projects leaves more resources and attention to work that makes the most difference in the business's bottom line. Yes, e-commerce and switch to digital economy has been experienced. Now more companies have joined the pioneer e-commerce ones like the Amazon. Safaricom, for example, said that over 95% of its workforce has been asked to work from home. And indeed, I talked to some Safaricom employees who said they had saved a lot from commuting. Now, reduction in commuting has had savings of sorts, including removing traffic jams on the roads. Lockdowns have led to some innovations. My own students, for their examinations project, have set up a platform for people to purchase their pizza and other foodstuff from the comfort of their bedrooms. Yes, lockdowns seem to have united people that were otherwise separated by work. Parenting is boosted when absentee fathers and mothers have more time with their kids. People have got time to remember their culture and value their tradition at home. Some talents have gotten exposed, e.g. cooking. Now, being locked at home enabled me, for example, to develop a number of recipes, including cooking banana flowers. You can watch them at those links of mine on this YouTube channel of mine. Lockdowns are said to have reduced the death rate caused by accidents. Yes, so we have had some good things brought about by lockdowns. But there are also a number of negatives that the lockdowns have led to. I captured a few in this selfie video of mine, and here I talk of a comprehensive SWOT analysis. Well, let's listen to myself. Yes, the lockdowns are here again. They were there first time, second time. Now we have them again. And I have observed about 8 or so issues that I may relate to these lockdowns. One, it is this issue of social distance. I think social distancing is better and more efficiently controlled when people are at work than when they are not at work. So lockdowns, sending people home, makes it even more difficult to observe social distancing in those estates, in the homes. So what are we getting actually? It is now social compression. So lockdowns are, if not taken very well, are leading to social compression, and that could worsen the situation. Number two, I have observed that there is some urban-rural migration. When those informal workers have nothing, nowhere to go, no place to work, they end up drifting back to the rural areas. And therefore, what happens is that rather than containing the epidemic, we're now spreading it, because people are moving away from those urban areas due to that, the lockdowns. So spreading rather than containing. Number three, there is of course mass unemployment. There is bankruptcies. We have seen businesses going bankrupt. And therefore lockdowns are leading to those mass unemployment, bankruptcies. Number four is just outright starvation. Outright starvation, particularly by the informal sector workers, hawkers, people who live from hand to mouth. Lockdowns lead to those drastic measures, drastic outcomes. Number five, note that I've observed, it has been reported that these lockdowns, in some cases, is increasing domestic violence. When now people sit in the house looking at each other, breadwinners are being, all those, stressful moments that are leading to domestic violence because of these lockdowns. And indeed, yes, we have the poor in Kenya, but the lockdown is actually creating a new class of the poor, not the normal poor, a new class of the poor. People who come with their brains, very good at thinking, innovative, but they are poor. That could be a very dangerous class of the poor. In some cases, I have observed that these lockdowns are being manipulated to fight opposition politics. Like when no meetings, we don't meet, we don't gather. There's some people who may manipulate it, some politicians who may manipulate it in their favor. Well, you may call it with a light touch, but the germs of that aspect can easily be seen. And of course, lockdowns lead to the loss of private and even public resources. And this comes with an opportunity cost. And that opportunity cost will be the diminished provision of essential services such as education, such as health. So when you look at it, lockdowns, they have both the pros and cons. I've only mentioned the cons here. We have the pros, but the question to ask is, are lockdowns simply the easiest solution, or are they the best solution? I think we need to answer that. And I may call upon my fellow professionals. What is our role here? Can we come up with strategies? Can we put our brains to strategizing, developing strategies to help out the situation? Yes, I know we may do it as professionals, but politicians may not take it, but would have done it anyway. For example, can we come up with a comprehensive SWOT analysis that will assist us develop strategies to address the situation? Let this be a challenge to us professionals. We can't sit back and just lament. Let's do it. Let's come up with all those strategies. Whether the politicians are going to take them or not, but we would have done our job. Yes. Let's do it. Colleagues, let's do it. Thank you. Yes. Here I talked about the cons only, but now I have shown the pros. And I challenged or requested fellow professionals to do some sort of analysis. Well, perhaps to set the ball rolling, here I'm going to do a mini SWOT analysis of these lockdowns. I have found some gray areas in the lockdowns. Kenyans have not been well informed about the justification of some blanket lockdown orders. For example, how many people contracted corona in bars to justify their closure? Could stringent operation rules work instead of closure? Yes, we have not gotten any statistics or good statistics that, okay, so many contracted in the bars and therefore going to bars is dangerous. How many people dying in the rural areas had their infection traced to the city to warrant closure of city-rural movement? Could strict city-rural borderline checks suffice? In other words, yes, there may be justification why we are blanketly closing restaurants, why we are blanketly closing bars, why we are blanketly, but we have not been given those rules. Maybe we need to be given. So, there is therefore the issue of attribution. Can we wholly attribute corona infections to bar reveling, to hawking in towns? Yes. These to me are gray areas. So, might we be simply taking the easiest and the cheapest route? And might this cheap not indeed be very expensive in the long run? Yes, we know cheap can be expensive. Have we thought of the long-term economic impact of lockdowns, and in this case, blanket lockdowns? It is such question that informed my mini SWOT analysis of lockdowns to perhaps provoke a more systematic approach to lockdown orders. So, I attempted a mini SWOT analysis. Yes, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It is used to analyze situations that require designing strategies to achieve a future goal. When we do SWOT analysis, we go on and do design strategies that we call maxi-maxi, mini-maxi, max-mini, and mini-mini. So, SWOT analysis helps us produce 4 generic strategies, what we shall call the SO, or offensive strategies, which call for the maximum use of the strengths, the S, to tap opportunities, the O, to the maximum. Hence, maxi strategies. SWOT then produces the WO strategies, also called adjustment strategies, calling for minimization of weaknesses, the W, in order to tap opportunities to the maximum, hence the mini-maxi title. SWOT further produces the ST strategies, the coping strategies, implying maximum use of strengths, the S, to minimize the threats, the T, hence the maxi mini. And finally, SWOT produces the WT strategies, the defensive strategies, meaning the minimization of both the weaknesses and the threats, hence its mini title. And when we've done all that, then we generate a SWOT matrix. You can see it is a 3x3 matrix, and you can see we have said strengths, the S, in the top cell of the second column of this matrix. So we list the strengths there. Weaknesses, the last top cell of the last column, the weaknesses. And then the first column, second cell, opportunities and the threats. And once we've done that, then we can develop what I've already talked about there: SO strategies, WO strategies, ST strategies, and the WT strategies. And so, I have attempted a mini SWOT analysis of the lockdown situation here in Kenya. This, as I said, is designed to create more debate, more analysis of the situation. So here where I am, here is my mini Kenya's COVID SWOT analysis. I want to translate, propose a translation of the COVID SWOT into action. Now, the strength. We have quite a number of positive situations in Kenya that can be used to address the COVID situation. For example, we have the Big Four agenda in place. We have some emergency system in Kenya. And departmental cooperation, departments, whether in government or outside government, there is some cooperation. These are positive situations that can be used to generate strategies to fight COVID. But we also have weaknesses. Oh yes, we have weak political goodwill. We have seen politicians. They have not actually, in my own opinion, contributed their best towards COVID. In any case, they have even been creating situations that are dangerous, that actually lead or may lead to more spread of the COVID. So I take it that there is weak political goodwill. Number two, there is, oh yes, very advanced tenderpreneurship in Kenya. Tenderpreneurship is not entrepreneurship. Tenderpreneurship is actually negative, where people use their positions to do what they think is entrepreneurship, but it's actually corruption. We have seen the KEMSA issue, where in fact politicians, top politicians, are thought to have the center of that KEMSA, and it's taking ages. Well, things were lost at KEMSA. The law is taking its course. But we can feel, or I can feel, that weak political goodwill interfering with the same, that perhaps, probably, was going too slowly. Then there is poor public awareness. Yes, quite a number of people are not even aware that COVID is real. We have not played enough to arrest this poor public awareness. And of course, we have some inadequate technological capacity in the country to comprehensively fight the COVID situation. So these are the weaknesses. But we're lucky. We have some opportunities. We have well-wishers. Let's say like Jack Ma. And there are others who have even helped the country. But look, the weaknesses, advanced entrepreneurship, the weak political goodwill erases the benefits of these well-wishers like Jack Ma. There is global technological advancement. Yes, we can tap from this global technological advancement. That's an opportunity. We have development partners. Yes, there are people willing to help us. But look at the weaknesses. And then the threats, in my opinion is that BBI is a threat to the COVID. The looming referendum, to me, is a threat. And of course, the global spread, like the mutation coming out of Britain and all that, it is also a threat. So, here we are. I have identified very few elements of the SWOT analysis. 3 strengths, 4 weaknesses, 3 opportunities, and 3 threats. Actually, the weaknesses outweigh the strengths, outweigh the opportunities, and all that. Now, let's now do our analysis. We want now to imagine strategies that can be developed out of these elements of SWOT. First one, we need to criminalize entrepreneurship. Yes, the entrepreneurship that is causing havoc. We need to bring out strategies that simply criminalize it. Let people go behind the bars. We need to intensify border and workplace checkup rather than lockdowns. Like I said, we have not identified the percentage of corona infections that are attributed to traveling, they say, between Nairobi and Nakuru. Perhaps, in my opinion, if we can set up very strong border checking, I would rather be late moving from Nairobi to Nakuru than be completely closed from moving Nairobi to Nakuru. And mind you, not all those people moving are carriers, are infected. So, by perhaps, if we had identified and really confirmed that maybe 60% of people moving are infecting across borders, then we can justify blanket closures. So in my opinion, it may be expensive to set up comprehensive border check lines, but at the end of it all, the impact, the future impact of total closure may have been addressed. Ban all political rallies for the latter. Yes, we ban them. The president decrees that we ban them. But the violations go on. And nothing or very little happens. We need to intensify COVID civic education. Yes, it's there, but it's not enough. Now let's come to the SO strategies. We need to aggressively implement the health part of Agenda 4. Agenda 4 has the universal health. It looks like due to some lack of political goodwill, that aspect of Agenda 4 has not been focused on. And yet there are the good germs in that agenda, universal health. That's why we should now really probably shelf BBI and address that part of the agenda of Agenda 4 that might be helpful to us. We need to integrate and upgrade the emergency information system. Yes, it's there, but are we putting enough resources in that information system? On ST, we need to incentivize R&D and education system. Yes, we have had, let me take Kenyatta University for example. Students coming up with good, technological solutions to COVID. But look at it now. Indeed, even the patenting of that invention hangs in the balance. The incentives for R&D and education system to address the COVID is not, it's minimal, so to speak. The Kenyatta University students, the primary school students, let's say in Bungoma, who came up with the washing gadget, my own standard 4 students in Bungoma came up with the hands-free washing system. But where is the incentive to even replicate that? We need that. Appropriately motivate health workers. Oh God, you cannot have health workers on the streets, on strikes, and yet they're the front line, workers in this COVID thing. Surely, priorities we need to address. Then, on the agenda for the education sector, whether transport, whether housing, take housing. We need low-cost housing. Without the architectural departments and faculties in universities, we may not achieve that low-cost housing. And therefore, we cannot leave out the education sector in the Agenda 4 and hope to comprehensively achieve the Agenda 4. So we need to revisit the Agenda 4 and add on the education sector. Education, whether transport, we need local transport gadgets, health, and all that. Now, finally, the mini, we need to share the BBI and the referendum funds with the R&D to address the weak COVID value chain points. Yes, in the COVID value chain we have very weak points, but there are no funds or very little funds to address them. Why? And yet we're expending resources on BBI, on the looming referendum. We need to revisit this and share those funds with the R&D to address the weak COVID value chain points. We need to formulate the return to work plans. On the point of return to work for industries, we know that the economy has got 3 sectors: the primary sector, the manufacturing sector, the service sector. We need to take each sector one by one, like the primary. The examples of primary sectors: fishing, farming, mining. We need to look at that and see which is the priority subsector in that sector. Taking these 3 examples, I would say fishing and farming, the food. Food is important. Even the sick need to eat well. So prioritize and selective lockdowns. In the manufacturing, we have the car factory, the breweries, the flour mill. If you ask me, the flour mill here makes a lot of sense at this hour when we have the pandemic. Yes, after all, if you are stopping movement, then the car factory, good as it is, or the breweries, good as they are, may not be a priority considering, in comparison with the flour mill. The service sector of the economy, there's the banking, retail shops, restaurants. Surely, the banking, the retail shops. So what I'm saying, that we need specialists to look at the economy. And even when we start making lockdowns, we are aware of which subsectors to lock down blanketly and which ones to assist, at least to continue producing. So I sincerely hope I have provoked debate without taking the bull by the horns. I hope both professionals and non-professionals can debate on these lockdowns and whether we need to relook at those blanket orders or not. Yes. Taking the bull by the horn? No. Provoking the fight? Yes. I have only provoked the debate, the discussion, and I wish we could debate on it, and I wish the politicians and decision makers, or like say decision takers, because yes, we make decisions, but elsewhere, they are taken elsewhere. Decision making and decision taking. I sincerely hope I have provoked some debate. So, if you enjoyed it, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more to come. And if you wish to support us to bring you more, if you feel you want to support us to bring you more, yes, you can donate. You can donate through our website. You can reach us through the email, but you can also outright donate through our buy goods till number 547-6465. Thank you, and feel provoked, won't you?